I don't know if it comes across on the video, but there's just a haze in the sky, in the air, and everywhere you look around. Now I assume it's that Canadian wildfire stuff that is trickling through the United States. In fact, it canceled a couple of Major League Baseball games yesterday. New York City's really getting it bad. I saw James and Carla and a few other New York live streamers do some videos yesterday and the day before, and the air quality there is terrible, and it's just so crazy to see how thick the smoke looks and the orange tint to the sky. Yeah, it's crazy. Orange, not quite as bright as this shirt, but it's like pretty darn close to it. Anyway, today is Thursday, June 8th, and I am trying my first vlog, so to speak, for Poco Traveler. And when I say vlog, I'm talking about kind of, instead of doing one at-length exploration video, it's going to be me showing my day on a travel day, because later today I'm going to be flying from Cleveland Hopkins Airport. But right now I'm actually headed to work just like I normally would here in Cleveland, Ohio, walking down West Boulevard to go toward Lorraine Avenue so I can catch a 22 bus going downtown. The difference between a vlog and a live exploration is I'm not going to show like the entire journey. Like if a bus ride takes 40 minutes, I'm not recording 40 minutes of a bus ride, but I might splice in like a few seconds of the bus ride and then transition to me being downtown. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it should be different and hopefully a little bit entertaining. Next to St. Ignatius Church alongside Lorraine Avenue, that's the bus stop that I usually wait for in the morning. A lot of times if I look at the time and I know the bus is supposed to come in like 2 minutes, I stare at those two traffic lights and it helps guide me. Like if I know the light's changing to allow traffic to come this way, it gives me like that extra minute to catch it. Otherwise, if I see this light turn green and I'm all the way back there, I'll have to do a little bit of a run to like scamper over here in case the bus is 30 seconds early. But I think we're good today. I'm actually catching a later bus than I normally would. But it is 7:34 and the bus is supposed to come in about 5 minutes or so. You can see the bus in the background there at West 105th, getting ready to come toward West Boulevard. It's always nice when you time up bus connections. 22 left, and then I know you can't see it right now, but I can see the 55 bus coming just a block away. Yes, I disobeyed the sign and I crossed there anyway. This is kind of a nice little hidden thing underneath the Student Center Plaza at CSU. Little, I don't know, I'll call it a garden area. This is like a parking lot for visitors. That 55 bus I was just on, even though I was on it briefly, it had this like pulsating siren that just wouldn't stop. Like, I've never heard that type of noise to that extreme on a bus. Like, it would have been almost the case where if that was a bus ride where I knew I was going to be on it for like 30 minutes, I may have just skipped that bus and gone for the next one. It was like ringing in your ears. But yeah, finished the multiple bus rides to downtown Cleveland. Always nice when they sync up. It doesn't always sync up like that. Sometimes I'm able to bang bang catch the 22 and 55 almost paired together. But then, other times if I know I missed the 55, I'll walk up to Euclid and catch the number 6 bus. Or there's also, if I stay on Superior, a number 15 bus I could catch. Cool thing about my building right there, that is Howe Mansion. Well, present day it's called Parker Hannafin Hall, part of CSU, but it was one of the original Euclid Avenue mansions that is still standing. I think there's 4 of them that are still standing. CSU owns the rights to 2 of them. Howe Mansion, which is converted into an office building, and also Mather Mansion, which is probably more well known. That's about a block and a half down that way. What the hell? I swear I never see scooters here, especially in front of the stairs to my building. Why are there 3 bird scooters here? Well, that was the first time I ever tried moving one. So I wasn't sure how to stand them up, but this thing was like flat before, so I put my foot on the back side of it and had to push it forward, but I actually had to lift the scooter as I was doing it. So, I swear that's the first time I've ever seen that in front of the building. This is where I sometimes check for my snacks. For a while they weren't filling the machine, now they filled it. What? Did someone leave a snack in here? I swear I didn't pay for this. And I love sour cream chips too. My lucky day, right? I always love having an extensive amount of office decorations. Then I know some of this stuff is outdated, the old Brown schedule with Baker Mayfield, but hey, and half the bobbleheads, none of these players are here except for maybe, we got Myles Garrett still back there, and I know recently, I got a Nick Chubb one, and more bobbleheads down there. My Bob Ross cereal box that we won at trivia. This was me when I actually got to play a couple times with Chauncey Billups, the former NBA player. He was in town when the Cavaliers were in the NBA Finals. And then the snacks, if you watched my Chinatown video that I got the other day. My paradise, getting ready to dive into work. Now obviously I'm not going to show my work task because, that's just not appropriate to show on the vlog itself, but I'll try to see if I can incorporate some stuff throughout the day that it kind of shows the progression of the day as it's going along. So my hair has been getting a little crazy lately, so I'm trying to get a little touch up before traveling, and it'll be good for the summer season coming up, right? Doesn't it like June 22nd or so? All done with the haircut. I think it looks pretty sharp. I mean, I showed him one picture of what I liked from when I had a previous haircut, and he went to work, and when he was all done, I was like, yes, that's like perfect. Because I've had a couple haircuts since then where they were like, did it kind of good enough, but like not exactly how I'd like it. So yeah, this was nice. So headed back to the office. I have a meeting at 11 o'clock a.m. What time is it? I didn't see how long that was. It is 10:14. So he spent a good deal of time with me. It was like 40 minutes that he spent with me being meticulous. So flash forward to, what time is it now? About 1:40 p.m. Getting ready to head to the red line to catch the train. Time flies when you're working. I'm working and I'm like, all of a sudden I look up and I'm like, shoot, the day has just flown by. I gotta get to the airport now. The fountain is back on this portion of Tower City, not the main fountain. But it's still sad, like, even though they made improvements on all the lighting and stuff, where's the businesses? I know they have improved businesses and having more of them available, but it still has a long way to go. I do like the lighting that they created. I think I just missed the previous red line, but I am about to get to the airport when I do get there with 2.5 hours to spare. So I should be pretty good with that. Yeah, you can tell no one's here except one other person. What, according to this sign, the West 117th Rapid Station doesn't exist anymore. Of course, that's not actually the case. Someone scribbled that out. I told this story on one of my live streams recently, but not everyone listens to that, so I'll tell a quick story as far as how early to arrive at the Cleveland Hopkins Airport. My standard practice used to be every single time, make sure I try to get there 2 hours ahead of time. And what would happen every single time, I did this for a couple of years, is that I would follow that, and TSA would take anywhere between 1 and 25 minutes. So sometimes I would get through real quick. Sometimes the longest would be about 25-minute wait. So over time I started bending my rules a little bit. So instead of arriving 2.5 hours before the departure time, I would arrive 2 hours beforehand. Then it started to get to like, I could probably swing an hour and a half. Well, St. Patrick's Day parade came in March, and I was filming a live stream, and I was cutting it close because I knew, okay, if I film this live stream of the parade for the channel, and then I want to go to the airport because I had a flight that day, I can make it work and get to the airport with an hour to spare. But what ended up happening was, yes, I got there an hour ahead of time. The TSA line looked completely normal. Like, it looked like the typical, like, maybe a 20-minute wait or less. Then all of a sudden, time's going by and I'm barely moving. The next thing I know, 25 minutes have gone by, and I've only moved like 25% of the length of the line. So I was looking at my watch and how many people were left in line, and I'm thinking, God, if this rate continues, I'm gonna miss my flight. And there was legitimate panic that started setting in because I've never come close to missing a flight. So I looked over, I was right next to the clear line, where you can, if you sign up with that program, you can skip the wait for TSA and just do the security portion where you put your bags through. So I yelled over to the clear guy, hey, how long does it take to sign up for clear? And they said Oh, so it's real quick. It's only a 5 minute process. So I abandoned the line that I was in, and sure enough, it was only a 5 minute process. I was able to skip to the front, and that allowed me to make my flight connection. And then the free trial that I had for Clear extended into April. When I utilized Clear that time as well, I looked over to the regular TSA line, and it was a pretty decent length line. Again, what I would typically think of a 25-minute wait, but it was moving at such a crawl again. And I looked back in March, the reason I attributed to the line moving so slow was instead of 4 lanes being open, they only had 2 lanes open. In April, they only had 1 lane open when I went. And I'm thinking to myself, God, is no one working at the TSA anymore? It was kind of ridiculous how much it was slowing it down. So this time, I'm supposed to be departing at 4:52 p.m. on my flight. This train should be coming in a couple minutes. So I anticipate getting to the airport around 2:30 p.m. So 3:30, 4:30. That'll be about 2 hours and 20 minutes before my flight arrives, or flight gets ready to depart. So I will see how it goes this time. Since I'm doing this live vlog, that's part of the reason why I wanted to tell this story, because I feel like that's an important component of today's vlog, is giving my reaction, how things used to go, how it's gone the past 2 months, and then we'll see how it goes today. I've resigned myself that they'll never fix or redo the upper parts of these. And then, the leaks that are always here, this is here just to catch the water dripping from the ceiling. Presumably that one is too. I don't know if it'll actually come to fruition. I did read an interesting theory that maybe they would move the red line track at some point in the future up to where the temporary station used to be, and then try to funnel in something like Amtrak over this way. That's probably just a pipe dream, but you never know. So I will have to deal with this. I just found that out. Between Puritas and the airport stations, which you've got, once you get to Puritas, you have the Brook Park station and then the airport. So once I get to Puritas, I'm going to have to get off the red line and take a 66R bus, like a regular bus that is then going to go to the airport. So that should be a slight little bit of a delay compared to getting there, but I should at least be at the airport a full 2 hours in advance. So I had to get off at the Puritas Rapid Station, which it's like a long walk just to get from, I know you can't tell from here, but there's like a walkway that you have to go over the tracks, and it's just a pretty long walk just to get over here. The 66R replacement bus is waiting there, but it's only running every 30 minutes, so right now it's 2:26. The next time it takes off is supposed to be 2:41, so it's like, I purposely wanted to get to the airport 2.5 hours ahead of time, and I was on track. Now it's like going to be more like an hour and 45 minutes maybe. I don't know, I'll see when it gets there. Alright, so I'm at the airport station now. It is 2:57 p.m. So I actually have to do something at the check-in area related to United first. There's the normal entrance closed. Usually when I fly, I just do a mobile boarding pass, but I flew basic economy to save money on United. And this is the first time I've seen this. They said that I couldn't check in online if I was not checking a bag. So if I was not checking a bag and I was trying to check in online, I have to print my boarding pass at one of these mobile kiosks, which I don't quite understand why, but I asked an online chat representative yesterday why I couldn't do that, and they just said that's always been the case. So we will see. I think United is all the way down that direction. Alright, got my boarding pass, so we'll see how this goes. So a couple of observations. First, it was only 20 minutes, which wasn't bad. They moved at a very good pace, but there was really only, there was 2 lines, but they eventually merged into 1 line. So like the number of lines was still small, but the time was like way faster than it was the previous 2 months. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Because now, like, if I see that type of line in the future, I don't know how to react. Like, are they gonna go quick like they did today, or is it gonna be a very slow process like it was the past 2 months? Anyway, I made it with about an hour or 50 minutes before boarding time, so I'm gonna try to go to Chick-fil-A.
All ticket testers should proceed to gate C11.
So the flight is on time. I think everything headed West Coast is fine. East Coast might have some issues with that Canadian haze. I don't even know if they're flying that direction. But anyway, I'm headed down to gate C26. Let's see here. If I had to buy one of these Lego things spontaneously, which would I pick? I don't know. None of them extremely appealed to me. It's gonna feel like a cop-out answer now. Now I'm putting myself on the spot. I guess I would go with a car. 100 years of the Natural History Museum. So, gate C26, and right next to it, Ohio Lottery touchscreen. So I could play the lottery or buy instant ticket if I want to get lucky. Well, looks like I won't be able to control my TV. Inoperative. So I'll just stare at the screen. So arrived at the Denver airport about 15 minutes early. This is the B gates. Started off around B16. Have about a little over 2 hour, I think it's around a 2-hour layover. It'll be gate B60 something, so on the other side. I'll probably head over to the A gates to grab something to eat, because it's usually less crowded near Pizza Hut. Denver's the airport I'm most familiar with, because it just happens to be either Denver or Las Vegas. That is the most frequent connection to get to Utah. See, you can get a perspective. People on the people movers move a tad faster, but I like, if it's not too crowded, just to walk over here. Gives you a little bit more exercise to stretch the legs after all that cramped flying, although I was pretty relaxed on that 3-hour flight. I didn't know they had a tattered covered bookstore here. When I did a video down East Colfax Street, I went to the really nice one that's inside of an old theater in that bookstore. If you want to check that out in one of my previous videos, it was like really cool looking inside. See, some construction going on for the escalators. So we're going to be going over to the A gates, which is on this side. It always gets pretty crowded when you're headed that direction, as you say hi to the astronaut. I was wondering if we were to see any Denver Nuggets sign here. This is Jack Swigert Jr. from the Apollo 13 mission. See, right off the escalator, Pizza Hut, no line. I literally walked up and got the order completed in like a total of 30 seconds. Lines aren't actually too bad though for the other places at this particular time. Like McDonald's is much shorter than I'm used to. There's other times where the line at McDonald's is really, really long. I've done many videos showing the Denver airport before and the unique artwork here. This is supposed to be showing like the different dimensions of futuristic travel, like a pole shooting through the air, catapulting to the other side, and then you've got the train track that's going up in the sky, the world map down there, and then of course the actual train transportation down below. I'm gonna go ahead and find a spot to eat this, probably on that third level, because I think over that direction on the third level is where that sleeping area is, which I've also shown in other videos. One thing I've noticed is that on this level they've added in different spots like extra chairs, a lot more chairs than they used to, like even along this wall here. When I had a layover overnight in Denver back in April, the sleeping area was actually full, so I had to kind of like rest for 4 hours in one or two of these chairs, slouching down. Wasn't nearly as comfortable, but these chairs must have been relocated from other spots of the airport. They've added some greenery to this area, but you can see a lot of the chairs are currently unoccupied. I'm sure there's something else more prominent, but I did find at least one "Let's Go Nuggets" sign. So part of what I try to do, even though I'm at the Denver airport, is I want to plan my mode of transportation once I get to Salt Lake. So I'm supposed to arrive at Salt Lake at 10:20 p.m. Hopefully it's a little earlier, but gives you about an estimate of when it'll arrive. But in your mind, you want to say, okay, even if it lands there, by the time it takes me to exit the plane and walk to where the train is, that could be like 15 minutes. So let's say 10:35. So then I go to Chrome and I want to look up first the Trax Green Line, which goes from the airport. So I looked at the airport station. One leaves at 10:41 p.m., gets to North Temple Bridge at 10:56. So if I'm able to catch that, that would work out, because the final front runner train, which is the main train that will take me from Salt Lake to Layton. If I look, where am I going here? Or right there, North Temple Station, 11:01 p.m. So I'll have 5 minutes to spare if I catch that green Trax line, and then that would get me out to Layton at 11:31 p.m. Mountain Time. Earlier, when I was taking the train, someone was coming up that escalator and their water bottle must have got hooked and it fell to the ground. Then someone on the ground took the water bottle and brought it back up here, hoping the person would come get it, but they never did. So then the person was like, I'm just going to leave it here. They didn't come back to retrieve it. So I'm going to head back to my A gates. You just follow the signage, train to concourses B and C. Looks like I'm going to miss that train that's leaving right now. I'll just wait for the next one. They come every 2 minutes. As I've been shooting this vlog, I've been thinking to myself, am I really making this entertaining? Because in my mind, I wanted to do, of course this damn loudspeaker is talking loud right when I'm trying to talk. Give me 1 second. As I was saying, I think to myself, am I providing enough entertaining quality content for this vlog? Because I was initially wanting to include a lot of more witty comments, like see something interesting and do a quick 10-second side narration about it. But instead I feel like I've been doing almost like purely a travel vlog, showing the travel things. I guess, for example, the button on the airport that wasn't working for the TV, that was an example of something I liked showing. Yeah, we'll see how the rest of this goes. I usually don't watch the full length of my videos back when I do exploration videos, like I'm doing a tour of the city, because I just experienced that myself. I kind of already know how it plays out, and I feel like I've also gotten better at my craft over time. But this one, I feel like I'm going to watch it back and critique it as much as possible, like my own critique, so that I can improve it in future sessions if I decide to film more of these type of videos. So right now, just headed toward the B60 area. I still have like an hour, but I'm just gonna relax over there. I like this sign that they have here: limited concession offerings ahead, grab and go kiosk before gate B62. So they're kind of letting you know, like, hey, you know, if you've walked past this point and you're going to keep walking, don't expect to find many food places. Although there are still a couple, like Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory and another thing. Nice big airplane decoration. SC 1918. This is I haven't seen this view before, but this is a really nice view right here. The big open windows. You can just sit here and watch the airplanes arriving and departing. And the windows are so damn clear, and it gives you, like, again, a great view of the sky and the action going on. I think that one pulling in right there, United Express, going over to B64, is the next plane I'm taking. It's one of those small ones where there's not a ton of rows on it, and there's only 2 seats on each side. So 2 seats in the middle, and then 2 seats. Some more unique views here, and they have cornhole chairs and kind of a little electronics lounge area. This must be a new wing addition to the airport. More modern. It doesn't matter that it's near 10:40 p.m. The Salt Lake Airport usually is busy, still serving people looking to fly late at night on a Thursday evening. Now, the Salt Lake Airport underwent major renovations a few years ago with the A and B gates, but they're supposed to be over the next few years continuing that type of construction. So one thing that's changed since the last time I've been here is they finally opened 5 additional A gates. So we're going to try to take a quick peek at that. It's supposed to be once we get to the very end down there. You know what's nice is that a lot of these food places are still open despite the fact that it's almost 11 o'clock p.m. That's a big contrast from, for example, when I go to Las Vegas. Like, I would think Las Vegas airport restaurants would be open later, but a lot of them close at like 9 p.m. Here we are. So this is, if you make the right turn down there, that's where you exit. This is where, like, the big Christmas tree would be in the past, the atrium. This is the future tunnel. And then right here, this is the new section. Gates. Well, eventually it'll be A26 through A47. But 5 new gates are presently open. I think the cutoff, like these, I think a few of these stores were here before, but like right after No Boundaries may have been where it was like walled off. And these all look like they're Delta gates. So Delta received the expansion. A27, A26, A28, A29, A31, 2. Well, by count, it looks like more than 5 gates. Maybe not all of them are open. Maybe I have it wrong when I said only 5 gates. Alright, I'm not going to go all the way further down because eventually it's going to be walled off again. But yeah, nice to see the expansion. So it looks like this is where that main atrium is and the tunnel coming in October 2024. These 5 gates are new, but it looks like these 4 gates are also in operation. So maybe it's 9 total gates that are open, and I think these ones will be in another phase. You know, I've always thought to myself, they don't have any like national, I mean there's some national things like Panera Bread, but no like Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's or Taco Bell. It looks like a Burger King is coming soon. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's vlog. If you enjoyed watching this video, sorry, you probably can't hardly see me without the lights on. Feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time. I always wonder why they put 3 different exit doors.